Good morning. Welcome to this historic week convention. First time ever done as a virtual event in the 22 years history of this company. And there are hundreds of thousands of people watching this live from close to 100 countries around the world right now. So, here we are. You're here now. And you and I, we got some talking to do. So sit down and get ready for a wild ride. Let us prepare you to be that man or woman who can achieve the kind of success that you truly desire. See, because most people are not. See, most people don't have the guts or courage to stand up for their dreams. Now, this talk that we are having, this is not for all of you. I'm not here to motivate you or inspire you. I'm here to talk to those, and only those, who are already motivated and inspired. I'm here to talk to two groups of people. One, those who are made the decision to go all in. Now, you may be new to this journey, but you have made the decision that this is the opportunity that you want to win at. And the second group are those who are already working hard, but pushing with all your strength and yet don't see the result that you truly desire. If that is you, then I'm here to help you remove that spoke from your wheel so that you won't feel stuck anymore. Now, those of you who still need someone to wake you up, motivate you, and babysit you all the way, please take a bathroom break right now. I don't have anything to tell you. And in fact, what I tell might even offend you. So, as you're listening to me, ask yourself this question. Do you have a strong desire to succeed? Are you someone who wants to achieve success because you can, just because it's possible? You love to expand who you are. And it might not be out of desperation or necessity, but out of that possibility of what you can become. You're so obsessed with this idea of achieving success after success, and you want to become that person. You are driven by desire to grow more, desire to be more and do more. And you feel that fire in your belly. And it's not a desperation thing. And it is not even the insecurity to prove to anyone, but to yourself that you can and you will. And if that's you, let's talk. The rest of you, if you want to continue lying down half asleep and listen to this, great. Or if you want to take a break, that's fine too. And my hungry ones, you are probably sitting upright right now, holding your breath. You may even be standing up. You ready? Let's go. For you, I want to give you one rule to live by. Now, you can have more than one rule, and most successful people do, but if you were to choose only one rule to live by, I want you to choose this. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying. Yeah, you heard me. I said stop lying to yourself. Stop bullshitting yourself. Because that is killing your success. See, you already have that fire in your belly. You are hungry. So why lie to yourself about your activities? Why pretend? You are doing some activities, but not enough. And yet you lie saying that I'm doing all I can. No, you're not. See, if you have been an under-earner for a long time, then look no further. Your problem is staring right back at you from the mirror. I don't care what challenges you say you have, it cannot hold you down for more than a few days, maybe a few weeks, or even a few months if it's an extreme challenge. But anything more than that, you just have been lying to yourself for far too long. And until you stop that, nothing is going to change. Let me tell you a story. See, this happened during the first year I got started in my business. I took part in a session that Dato Sri Vijay did. It was called TAPS, short for Truth Application Program. About 8-10 of us would sit around and Dato Sri would ask us questions. Questions about why we haven't achieved what we said we wanted to. And he would mercilessly tear us apart and show that our answers are just lies we tell ourselves. See, that session lasted for about 5-6 hours. Started late at night and went on till early morning. And the next day I had to go to work. I was still employed and building this business on the side during my first year. During that session, I realized and learned many things. But the single biggest lesson I learned was to stop lying to myself. It was not easy to accept that I was lying because everything I couldn't do or achieve, I had perfect reasons as to why I couldn't. I was telling myself that it was because of reasons outside my control, and I was angry when I was shown as a failure when I could clearly show at least 10 different things that were beyond my control, which prevented me from succeeding. I got so upset and angry at times as to why I was being blamed for things outside my control. And sitting there, it hit me. I realized that it was not about blaming anyone. It was about doing what needed to be done to get the results I wanted. See, blame game is just a distraction. Not lying to myself was about taking back control of my life. It was about getting back my power. For far too long, I had given away the control of my life by blaming others or circumstances. And now when I blame someone, I accept that they have control over me. And by blaming someone, it is like giving them the ropes and then telling me or telling them, pull me in any direction you want. You have the control. They have the control now to make me feel the way I want or they want. If they do something for me, I'll be happy. If they don't do something for me, I get upset. And now they have the control of how I feel. And that makes me a puppet in their hands. And sitting there, I remembered growing up how everyone would advise us about not lying to others. But the fact is, when you lie to others, you might do it a few times a day. But the lies that we tell ourselves run into hundreds every single day. From the time we hit that snooze button on the alarm and decide to sleep in and skip that morning workout, we start lying. Till the time we go to bed saying that tomorrow I will do things differently. And the person who suffers the most because of our lies is ourselves. Now, I wish I could tell you that since then I stopped lying to myself. And if I told you that, I would be lying. But since that session 19 years ago, I have been trying my best to be truthful to myself. I've gotten better over the years, but I'm far from where I would like to be. But also far better than where I was in my life when I sat there in that tap session. Now, it was tough. Lying to myself had become a part of my thinking. Anytime I even had a thought of a goal or a dream, the first side thought that would come into my mind was, oh, that will not be possible. I couldn't do it. That won't work. That's just for some lucky people. The extent to which this garbage called lying and pretending had become ingrained in my thoughts was scary. It took regular reminders and painful hammering from my mentors, almost on a daily basis. But I welcome that. If you haven't grown in your business in the last few months, during times when you can sit at home and literally connect with people 24 hours a day, something that men and women before you had to literally move out of their houses to do. They had to go to the streets to meet people and get a sale, or had to physically go to their prospects' houses to get a sale. Something that you can just sit at home and do right now. And if you haven't grown your business during these times, then you have just mastered the art of lying to yourself. And if in your mind, if you disagree with what I just said, congratulations. On top of lying to yourself, you have also mastered the art of fooling yourself to a whole different level. See, even when someone points it out to you, you still can't see it. You have just perfected it to the extent that even you are unaware of your lies. Now, if you don't know what lies you tell yourself, let me help you. Take anything that you said you wanted to do or achieve, but then you did not do it. All right? Now, tell me why you didn't do it. And you probably would start off by saying, I couldn't do it because. Now, everything you say after that because is a lie that you're telling yourself. Now, those of you who have that fire in your belly that I spoke about earlier, the ones who are really hungry for success, you are thinking, yeah, Arun, you're right. I've been lying to myself for far too long, and now I don't even know when I'm lying or when I'm being truthful to myself. But the people who are watching this, half asleep in their bed, or the ones that just got back from the toilet break, you might say, no way, that's not true. I have my real reasons. See, my reasons are not lies. You don't know my situation. I don't have the internet or phone, or I'm stuck at the middle of nowhere. My country is under lockdown. We have a war going on. How can you say it is a lie? Now, to all of you who think that way, let me ask you a question, okay? If you tell me that the reason you are not able to achieve what you want is because of all those things that you just said, okay? Because you live in this remote place, or you don't have access to internet, or whatever your favorite story is, then I have a question for you. Are you doing the maximum with what you have already? See, I understand all the things that you don't have. But my question is, are you doing the 100% of what you can with what you have every single day? Answer yourself truthfully. Are you doing the maximum every day with what you have? And if the answer is no, then all that so-called reasons that you tell yourself are just lies. And just in case if you said yes, and I'm putting my 100% every day, and if you're that person, then probably you've come pretty close to achieving your goal, or you're just full of crap and you're lying again. While most of you blame people and circumstances, some of you might be blaming yourself too. You might be saying, oh, my lack of success is my fault, and you just sit there depressed, saying, I screwed up, I fully deserve this, I fully deserve my failure, I didn't work hard. See, not lying to yourself does not mean just accepting the blame. It doesn't mean throwing your hands up in the air and saying, oh, it's all my fault, I was lazy, I didn't do it, my fault. What a convenient thing to escape to. So how righteous of you, isn't it? So now I should just give you a medal. Just by accepting blame that it is your fault, you think that is taking ownership? Okay, now it's sure better than blaming others or circumstances, but as a leader, taking responsibility means taking responsibility for the results. So, if you screw up, all right, accept that's your mistake. But if you're not doing anything to fix it and get results immediately, you're just hiding behind another lie of taking the blame. Stop lying means just one thing and one thing only. If you say that something is important for you and you are going to do it, then throw away all excuses and reasons and just do it. That's what stop lying to yourself means. You say you have problems, like real problems? Sure, everyone has. So, do you want to wait till there are no more problems? Then you will wait until you're buried under the ground. See, the journey that I challenge you to take on is the journey of achieving goals in spite of the challenges. Not when there are no more challenges. So, which route do you want to take? Wait till all challenges are over? You will wait until you die then. Because life is one challenge after another. And when you take the approach of waiting, then you are teaching yourself the worst lie ever. The lie that you may still achieve success if you wait for the problem to be over. One of the biggest lies you can teach yourself is just that. It is such a horrible lie. And once you believe that, your life is practically over. Now you're forever playing the waiting game. See, no one, absolutely no one has achieved any big level of success by waiting for the challenges to be over. So you can continue to believe in that lie if you want to, or you can learn to dance in the rain. If that's what you want, then stop lying. Stop saying things like, oh, I wanted to do it, I got busy, I'm doing so many things, that's why I couldn't finish it. Bullshit. The truth is, I'm scared to take that task on and do it. So I use all these other things as distractions to avoid doing the most important thing, and I just pretend that I'm busy. I'm just scared to make them my priorities because I'm not good at those tasks. That's the truth. Once you know the truth, now you have the freedom to make the decision. A decision that starting now, I will prioritize my goals, and no matter what happens, I will not sleep until I complete my tasks daily. And if I don't know something, I will make it a priority to learn that. But until you tell that truth to yourself, you will keep hiding behind that lie called, oh, I didn't get the time. Stop telling lies like, my wife didn't support me, my husband doesn't support me. See, the truth is, it's not that they don't support you. The truth is that I have not taken the time to win the support of my family. And instead, I walk around like they are just supposed to understand me and just fall at my feet because I'm doing this business for them. And once you understand the truth, once you admit that truth, now you can decide to work on winning their support instead of just taking them for granted. Stop telling lies like, oh, I'm doing all I can. Even after so many months, if you are still where you were, you are not doing all you can. Do you want to know what doing all you can is? It is working hard till you puke and collapse. That's working 100%. Now, I'm not saying that every day you have to work till you puke and collapse. But operate at least 80-90% of that. And then you say, I'm doing all I can. But When you operate in your comfort zone doing 10% of what you can and then lie to yourself that I'm doing all I can, that's just bullshit. But the worst lie I have ever heard is the lie of hiding behind the excuse of family or kids. I can do this because I need to be home. I can do that because my kids need me during this time. Saying that your reason for not becoming successful is your kids, that's horrible. Something that should be your reason for success, now you want to use that as a lie to hide your failure. And when I point that out to people, they get angry. They ask me, so what do you want me to do? Just ignore my family and just abandon them? See, they just twist that lie and make it their defense against the truth. Now, how do I know it is a lie? Because they just fight with their family every day. They're not spending the time exactly taking care of the family. They fight with their spouse, their kids. They have arguments every day. There is no sufficient income. The wife or kids want something and the husband tells them that, we can't afford it because I can't do my business because of you. And they start blaming. There's no peace and happiness in the family because you are hiding behind that twisted lie. The truth is, you're so scared of failing. You don't know what to do to achieve that goal or how to do it. And probably whatever you're doing is not working. Maybe you were successful initially and then took your success for granted and then the business slowed down or collapsed and now you have no idea of how to build it back. And out of this fear of failure, you invent this new lie and bend and twist it so that no one will dare question you. You see, when you use a lie about your family or kids and put the blame on them, you personally don't look like a failure anymore, right? Hey, I could have maxed out if it was not for my family. I could have maxed out if it was not for my kids. Now, when somebody goes to the extent of lying in the name of their family and use kids as an excuse of not becoming successful, now they have just, taken a double PhD in lying to themselves. Probably only God can save them now. It is that pathetic. It is a sad life. And the irony is that their own family don't respect them anymore. See, by focusing on one thing, which is my business, I can not only take care of my wife and kids and make their lives secure, but also my parents and a whole lot of other people that I love and care about. I will take that up any day as more important than being at some birthday party somewhere. My business does not replace them. It is for them. And that is my story. And I think that is a far better story than saying, I couldn't become successful because of my kids. See, you talk as though your kids or your family is a disease. Oh, I couldn't work on my business because of my children. I couldn't work on my business because of my wife. What a BS. And when that is a story you tell yourself, you will feel guilty every time you work in your business away from your family. And then, even when you become successful, you will feel alone because you didn't really think it was for them. And now you're unable to truly share your success with them. See, the lies you tell yourself have far-reaching consequences. It is a shame so many people use their family as an excuse. Or this other lie that I hear so many times, I want to have a balanced life. I cannot only run after money and business. This, I want a balanced life bullshit. You want to learn how to balance? Join circus. Let me ask you something. When you were broke, or when you are still broke, do you really have a balanced life? Forget life. Forget balanced life. There's no life itself. You are barely surviving, and your family doesn't respect you much. If you want to become rich and successful, don't learn to balance. Instead, learn to set your priorities right. That's more important than balance. See, for me, providing for my family and making their life secure is more important than just sitting with them and watching TV. I am crystal clear on my priorities. I have a question for you. How long do you want to live a lie? How much longer do you want to go on with all these lies, stagnation, and failures before your life becomes a complete mess and your income completely dies off? If you say enough is enough, if you have decided that I will no longer lie to myself, then you have started a brand new journey towards success in your life. So, how do we do it? How do we get rid of this deadly habit of lying to ourselves? How do you make this change and then stay the course? There's only one perfect way to do it. By being surrounded by a group of people who are ruthless in holding you accountable. People who just will not accept your BS. Now, this is also the most painful way, but it is the fastest and the most effective, even though it is brutal. What I want is to have people around me who will call out my BS in an instant. So I have my mentors, my team, my friends, my parents, my wife, and even my kids calling me out when I lie about why I didn't do something. The problem with most of you is you hang around with people who keep buying your lies. And even if they don't buy your lies at times, they don't question you. They don't show you up. And you hang around with a bunch of weak people for far too long. You need people around you who will not take your lie anymore. And when you shed those crocodile tears and cry about how tough life is and how much rejection you're getting because of this business, they would just say, "Grow up, moron." And when you blame and complain about how others are not doing their job and that you are not successful because of them, these people would whack you behind your head and tell you to wake up and stop hitching your cart on other people's horses. That's the kind of people you want around you if you are hungry for your success. I know it's not easy. I had to confront my lies many times. But when you become good at catching your own lies that you tell yourself, now you also become good at smelling the bullshit that others throw at you. Now, you will easily spot the lies that others are trying so hard to convince you of. Whatever their lie is, whether it is that this will never work for you, or that you're a scam, or that for you to be rich, you need to be lucky, or all your stars need to be aligned before you do anything. Whatever their lie is that they are trying hard to convince you, now you can smell that from a mile away. But if you're not good at spotting your own lies, then you will be unable to spot the lies that others are trying hard to convince you of. There are plenty of times when I had to confront my own bullshit. When I struggled hard to build a team during my first year in the business, I was always blaming others. And I had to stop that lie to move forward. Every time I took my success for granted, my business slowed down. And I used to say, oh, it's so hard to make it work in this business. Maybe I'm not lucky. And I had to stop lying to myself so that I could successfully rebuild. And when I traveled for 6 to 8 months a year, leaving my wife and newborn babies at home, and people around me were trying to convince me that I shouldn't do it, I had to stop accepting their lies. When I became fat and walked around like a huge 130 kilo ball of fat, I had to stop lying to myself that I didn't have time so that I could lose about 45 kilos and stay healthy. When I got into the habit of confronting my own lies, when I got better at telling the truth to myself, I started seeing tremendous growth. Growth in business, growth in me as a person, growth in my relationships. I can tell you one thing today. It is worth it. There's one rule to live by. This rule that has been passed on from ages. This rule that Dato Sri taught me years back. Stop lying to yourself. Now, if you didn't know until now, now you know. Now you cannot pretend that you didn't know this. It's not others that reject you. It is you rejecting yourself with all the lies that you tell. Listen to me. Chief is going to come up and talk about dreams. The most foundational piece of success. Do not just sit there lying to yourself saying, my life is okay. I'm not in the streets. I don't have big dreams. I'm okay. Only arrogant and selfish people don't have dreams. Every single person who has ever become successful with their own efforts had dreams. And they had even more dreams when they became successful. That's how they remained successful. So do you want to be among these men and women that you're hearing from during this convention? If yes, then stop lying to yourself. See, to belong to this group, you need to pay the price. Admission is restricted. It is not free. Your sacrifices and your actions is the price you pay for admission. It's not your money. Your money cannot buy success. It can speed it up for sure, but it will not be instead of the real price that you will have to pay. The price that success demands, like your time, your effort. You pay the price with all the rejections you face. The pain of moving forward through setbacks and failures. The tears that run down your face when you've been knocked down so many times and you still keep getting back up. The emptiness that you feel at times when you think you're fighting this all alone. That is a price for your success. And when you do that, you rise above all the other morons that just lie around complaining and blaming. You start to achieve one goal after another. At first, the other morons might think it's just luck, but you keep moving forward. And now slowly your success starts to become a little bigger. And now those other negative people who try to knock you down, they start to become uncomfortable. They start looking stupid for having doubted you in the first place. And now they slowly want to be friends with you. And they start saying things like, oh, I knew you always would make it big. You had it in you. But you don't have time for their negative comments or for their so-called positive things. Because you are so focused on your work and your dreams. And now you start achieving even bigger success. And now no one can ignore you anymore. And you start inspiring other people who are equally hungry in their life. Your success has given them hope to go after their own. From a nobody, you have become a hero to many. Stop playing it safe. Let others play it safe. You have goals, you have desires, you have fire in your belly. You are already different. Don't confuse yourself with them. Let them blame others. Let them blame circumstances. You don't need to be distracted by those people. Let us focus on what we can do right now. Let us focus on what needs to be done. Today, we declare war on this habit of lying to ourselves. We will fight this battle till we succeed. Let us build a band of men and women who will do just that. And together we will say, I am, because we are.